Hey everyone, I hope you are having a great day and week and month, and I hope you're keeping safe out there. I am so pleased and so excited to bring to you this amazing stream I did with the incredible Ian Pesty, another artist that I've had the chance to work with recently, and just one of the best people. And we had a lot of fun, so I'm hoping I can work again with him sometime soon, and I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you're wondering what this little thing is, this is my mic. I usually used to have it sitting on this tiny little tripod right in front of me that was about that far away, and it made recording videos a little bit difficult. But I was finally able to fix this up, and now my mic boom arm or mic arm, whatever you want to call it, is sitting pretty much right next to me. So it means I can have the mic right here. I don't have a pop filter for it, so I'm using a sock. And yeah, it has helped, So if you see this start showing up in videos and whatnot, this is what it is, and yeah. So that hopefully will answer some questions. Anyway, guys, without further ado, here's the video. Right. Let me know, guys, how he's sounding at the moment.
Hello, can everybody hear me? Am I working?
I hope you are. It was absolutely fine before when I was interviewing Brian, but I've had to mess around with a lot of my computer settings over the last couple of days trying to get my Elgato to work properly, so I've definitely done something. I don't know what it is, but I've done something.
Well, hopefully that might fix it.
Yeah, I certainly hope so. Yeah, guys, do let me know if you can hear him clearly, or if you can hear him any better than you were hearing him before, because it'd be a really unfortunate stream if you guys couldn't hear him properly.
Yeah. Well, hopefully people can hear me now. You might dulcet English tones.
I've actually got a couple of mates living over in England at the moment. One was actually has just finished studying in, I believe it is, Luton.
Oh right, yeah.
And I myself was in Chelsea a couple of years back.
Oh right, nice.
Yeah. Went to Chelsea, around most of London, and stayed a little while in near actually where one of my mates was in Milton Keynes, and then hold on, it's a bit better echoey and quiet, but okay. Apparently you sound echoey and quiet. Sound perfectly fine on my end, but I don't know.
Yeah. I sure speak up then.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe changing the audio around, maybe turning up the mic gain maybe a little bit on your end. I don't know. Just not there.
There you go.
Alright guys, how does that sound? Is he sounding alright now?
Anybody hear me?
They're saying much better. Alrighty, so just to double check, and again I am really sorry about this everybody, and yourself included Ian, I do apologise, but am I sounding good? Is he sounding good? Are we sounding at the right kind of levels? Is the game sounding alright? Can you hear the game well? And all the sound and all that? Because otherwise, we have to change some things around. Oh, Jesus.
Oh, that was a mistimed super.
I forgot to turn on my music. I was like, why am I not hearing anything? That's why I forgot to turn on my music as well. But now I've got to make sure that my music isn't too loud or soft. The joys of streaming. Okay, let's see what we're at. 60%, yeah. Another quick run through like that and we'll be good to go.
How did I do it? Yeah, I was about the same, 60%, that was quick.
Yeah, if you get up to, if you fully complete a heroic event, it gets you like 50 to 60% on it, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
Anyway, so would you mind at all, game work could be slightly quieter, going over again just quickly your start to your art and how you got started in the game industry as well, because I think a couple of people did not catch that, unfortunately.
Yeah, of course, yeah. So I think, as I was saying, like most artists, I started off drawing as a kid. And just, you know, it was one of just things I just loved doing all the time. Any opportunity to draw, any bit of homework that required homework, I would, you know, put my all into doing artwork for that. Get good scores in school. And then essentially moved on to like did my A levels, did illustration, did art. A levels, did art history, and then moved on to university and did a degree in visual arts, which was kind of like a bit like fine art, really, print, photography, illustration.
Right.
And then kind of just coming into my kind of degree, and I wasn't too sure where I wanted to go with it. I thought I wanted to go into book illustration. I was very much into like fighting fantasy and comics at the time, doing a lot of like personal stuff. So I had like a portfolio of very, very weird kind of fun art. And then I discovered that, you know, potentially I could go into the games industry, which at the time felt pretty new. It was not like we see it now. This was back in '97, so I took about like Nintendo 64 days and just before the PS1.
Yeah.
And I applied to a couple of jobs and managed to land myself a job of a concept artist working on an N64 title called Dragon Sword, which sadly was never released. It was MGM Interactive who were working for at the time.
Oh, right.
It's expensive putting N64 games out. Those carts cost a fortune. So it was like a 3D Golden Axe, essentially. Great fun to work on. Like, really my cup of tea. You know, ogres, warriors, hydras, skeleton warriors, you know, kind of thing.
Follow Mickey. But yeah.
So that was my start, really. I started off as a concept artist and a texture artist, and experienced most facets of the games industry from an art point of view, and steadily progressed on up to being an art director and a studio art director.
Right.
22 years later. So yeah, I've worked on a range of consoles from N64 through to, you know, current. Most of the games I've made have not been particularly well known. I've worked on things like, funnily enough, Tasmanian Devil. I know you're from Tasmania.
Ah, right.
As Wanted. I worked on Fairly Odd Parents, Epic Mickey, Reservoir Dogs, Dead to Rights. So like a whole bunch of licenses, really. Nothing blockbuster.
Anything
more recently,
we would know about?
Yeah, so more recently I got to work on Zombie Army. I'm currently art director on Evil Genius 2.
Really?
Yeah, so I'm really enjoying that. Very excited about that.
That's awesome. That's wicked, man.
Yeah, so I got to meet like kind of constantly surrounded by very talented individuals, very inspiring to work with. Always makes you, you know, up your own personal game.
We've got someone in chat going, "Hell yeah, Ian!"
That's got to be Mickey, surely.
Yep, it is. It is.
It was Mickey. Oh man. Hey, Mickey.
Well, we actually do have a question by Mickey, actually. Where are they? Right. How do you start a piece, and what kickstarts the process for you?
How to start a piece? So I think I'm always carrying around a bunch of ideas. I think there's always usually more ideas that you can do, particularly because I take so bloody long to paint a piece. So, I mean, Destiny's so inspiring. There's just so much going on. There's so many subjects you could choose. So, yeah, I have a tendency to kind of carry around a bunch of ideas, and they kind of marinate in my brain for a while. Just chew things over, keep adding to them. I then kind of start doing a lot of research. I'll kind of grab like a bunch of reference, a bunch of ideas, start getting myself together like a mood board of bits and pieces that I like the idea of. Usually create myself like a Pinterest board. And then kind of just start working it. And sometimes there's a tendency to evolve as a work in a piece. It can change sometimes, but most of the things I get things down at a sketch level, and then because they do take so long to ink in, I have to get it pretty much set up before I begin work. So yeah, it helps with Destiny being so inspirational in the first place, I think. But I have a tendency to kind of I draw from a bunch of things that I might have seen or like the game or outside the game.
Well, that was awesome. And Mickey says awesome as well, so that worked out well. He also says love you. So
I love you too. You know that though.
The love is so palpable in this room.
The love is real.
The love is indeed real. Question from Spikles. I hope I'm saying that. Spikles Art.
Hey, Spikles, I know Spikles.
Bungie invents the Vex, who then unwrite Destiny from time and space. What are you drawing fan art of instead?
Oh man. Probably the Vex, I'm guessing. Are the Vex still existing then?
I mean,
have to be
maybe.
Or they conceal themselves.
I
Are we aware of it?
I suppose maybe Vex. You could probably do. Okay, two answers to this question. One, assume the Vex still somehow exists, but nothing in Destiny universe does. So the Vex are just their own separate entity that we just don't know much about, or the Vex don't exist, and it's just what would you be drawing fan art of instead of Destiny?
I mean, yeah. To answer, kind of guess seriously, I think I always. As I said, I was a massive Whitey Fantasy fan, Dungeons & Dragons fan growing up. I think I'd be doing more like fantasy illustrations. I was very, very inspired as a kid by the black and white artwork in those books. I think you can see that more work. It's all very much black and white-ish, at least very ink-based.
Which is not a bad thing at all. I mean,
yeah.
All the stuff you can come up with, man. Just
yeah, I think I would be. I think I'm inclined to work on that. I've always fancied going back and giving it a blast, and even kind of collaborating with somebody who was making a fighting fantasy style choose your own adventure book.
Right.
I mean, I'd love a Destiny version of one of those. The turn to page 50 if you want to do X, turn to page 30 if you want to, I don't know.
So, kind of like a better version of Truth to Power, then?
Oh, I don't know that, honestly.
Oh, really? The lore book Truth to Power that you can get from the Dreaming City every 3rd week when you go to visit Mara's Throne World?
Oh yeah, I do remember that. Is that what that's called?
Yeah, the lore book's called Truth to Power, and there's one particular entry in it that is a kind of choose your own adventure. But
really?
It's very, very weird.
Oh, let's go check that out. That sounds cool.
Actually, you know what? I might just bank the. Oh, hold on. I'll grab this mate, and then I'll grab. Oh, I thought there was a mate over there. Grab this mate. Grab this mate. Grab this mate. Ah, bugger. Grab that moat. Dunk this. Grab some heavy ammo, and then I can go in and pull up the Truth to Power lore book. Oh, what did I get from seasonal stuff? I got it's not focused right. Truth to Power. Here we go. Oh, I don't know the last. Oh, I got really lazy and didn't do the last 2 entries. I should fix that up at some point. Yeah, so it's called React, Choose, and Act. It's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9th lore entry. got, you are standing in the courtyard of the tower. You are without armor or weapon, and your senses seem more vivid than usual. Under your tongue is the taste of salt. To look down on the city, onto the city, go to N. To move deeper into the tower, go to O.
That's fantastic.
And there's like a whole bunch of weird, like, there's talks of a black hole singularity, sheathed in bent light. You find Banshee, Cater 5530, Master Rahul, Tess, Everest, Benedict 9940, Soraya Hawthorne, Executor Hideo, Amanda Holiday, Iraq Jalal, and Cade 6 in their usual places in the hangar. And then someone tells you, hey, come play soccer. There's a Vex Hydra that shows up. This is all in the old tower. Medusa's there. Dulan Karu's there. It's just this massive mind trip. It's hilarious. Anyway, getting back to the questions at hand. Do you organize your art projects digitally? Or adding on to that, how do you organize your art projects?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I've got I'm ridiculously bad when ridiculously good, should I say, when it comes to backups of my work. I do work digitally mostly. Every October I usually get at the old pen and pad and do some stuff by hand. But yeah, I do. I fold everything up. I have all the references in the right folders. I think it's from years of working in the games industry. I also have tendency to have ridiculous amounts of iterative files. I will save. I never save over the same file at the end of a session. I have a tendency to save it as a new name. 1, 02, 03, 03A, 03B. Just because I've had stuff in the past that you stuff gets lost, so you lose like 2-3 hours, and it's like it just destroys you. So yeah, I organise quite well.
That's good to know. I really need to be better at organisation myself. I am utterly terrible at it, and yeah, I'm more of a it'll get done eventually. I'll organise that for some time. I don't tend to, apart from the things that are really important, I don't tend to schedule things. Like this, I absolutely scheduled, but most other things is kind of like, we'll just see what happens.
I think my layers could do with better organisation in my artwork. I work with a lot of layers. They could do with better organisation, I think. Ever since you start naming them really bad random names, it gets a little out of hand. I'll probably end up with like about 150 layers on a piece of work.
Oh,
not really the best way to work, to be honest.
Meki just said they have a single Photoshop folder and have thousands of files dumped in there. They need to fix that. Look, I'm not going to say you're wrong, because you're not.
It's living on the edge, that is. Living on the edge.
Oh, okay. So, where do you get your inspiration from? Do you ever find it hard to come up with new ideas, or are you the type of artist that has a million ideas and struggles to finish each piece before having a new idea?
Right, so what was the first part?
Where do you get your inspiration from?
I think, honestly, I mean, obviously from the game is so rich, as I said before, in like visuals and lore. It's hard not to be inspired, to be honest. I do find whenever there's a big new release, it's very inspirational. I know whenever they do a dev stream, I usually screenshot as much stuff as I can, and I'll start trying to draw something like ahead of the details have come out, which is always good fun.
Right.
So I think I like picking on the more kind of I would say some of the more darker moments of the game. I like some of the more kind of grim-looking things.
Yeah.
One-eyed masks, skull masks, anything like that. I like the Hive.
Yeah.
It's generally a kind of pick out. It's usually something that I'm currently very, very interested in. Or there's something that's coming out that's very interesting. and I'll pick a night. There are some subjects, you know, that don't inspire so much. You kind of like just it's picking out the things that I think most interest you as you're playing the game. For me, that tends to be to mostly be hunters, and I did try to. I started to look across to Titans and Warlocks a lot more because I was getting a bit hunter heavy with my artwork.
I'm certainly not complaining, but I'm very biased in that particular as area of things, as it were.
Actually. I think people spotting my art. I mostly focus on things like close up, anything that is highly detailed close up. So you'll probably find me not often do a full body image or a scene. I'm usually looking for like details where I can focus on the nuts and bolts and the cracks and the rust and the veins and the you know, the wire work in something. That's what really interests me. I like kind of delving into the detail. So a very ornate piece of armor or a very ornate helmet or a piece of sculpture or a piece of this environment are things that kind of hook me the most, because I know I can then noodle for hours painting all the ridiculous details.
Well, I hope that was I hope you got what you wanted out of that, Jelly. I really do find it all good sometimes. Just I want to make sure I'm coming across as very genuine, because I don't want it to seem like it's not like this is actually really awesome and fun for me, but I also want to make sure everyone gets the questions in, and yeah, so I hope you guys are enjoying this. In saying that, Zin, this might actually be where we have to part ways for a while, but don't fret. I will be picking up some raids next week, so I will be absolutely able to help you and the rest of the guys out with that. But until then, we'll have to catch you a little bit later. But feel free to stick by on the stream, because it's awesome to have you. Now, next part of that question.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it was parts. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Multiple different parts. Oh, he chopped out. Okay, well, yeah. So, do you ever find it hard to come up with new ideas, or are you the type of artist that has a million ideas and struggles to finish each piece before having a new idea?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think particularly as my pieces do take so long. They take usually about 50 plus hours most of the time to do a piece. So I've always got the next idea that I kind of really want to get onto, but I'm like kind of like, right, must finish this one first. Occasionally in between pieces, or I will do like a quick. I did that recently. Did a couple of hunt sketches with my Heliopause helmet, just to kind of get something off my chest. You know, I had these cool ideas. I wanted to paint him like hunting. I wanted to paint him on his sparrow. So occasionally I'll do something when it grabs me, if I can do it quickly. But yeah, I tend to store up a bunch of ideas, and I even sometimes note them down in my sketch pad. I kind of almost doing the research in the background while I'm working on another piece. And sometimes I plan a bunch of pieces in one go, like this that sarcophagus hunter that I did, kind of the trials one. I'd already planned out in my head the Titan and the Warlock, which I'm currently just about finishing up on the Warlock at the moment.
All right.
So
that
yeah,
was going to be one of my next questions for you is what art pieces are you currently working on?
Yeah, so that Warlock piece, essentially, I kind of had all three planned down. I basically kind of photographed myself for reference for the poses, which was quite a good laugh. And I've got those three blocked out, so they could almost be like a triptych. You could almost put them all side by side, and they would look quite nice together as a set.
Right.
It's one of those undertakings that you set yourself right. I am going to do this, although it's going to take me probably about 4 months plus. It's kind of like, right, that's what I'm going to do. It's my challenge. I've challenged myself to this.
Oh yeah.
And it's enjoyable. I mean, when you're in the middle of it, when it gets going, you kind of oh man, I just got slapped by a Vex.
too many times. Man.
Yeah, when
Too many
you're in the middle of it, you
Yeah.
can see the piece forming. It becomes very rewarding. You find at the beginning, you kind of like it's you've got an idea where it's going, and that's kind of fun. It's kind of exciting, and then
Yeah.
there's a bit after that where you're kind of like, I'm not too sure if this is a good idea. Then you kind of you get for a period of becoming more confident. You're like, oh, this is going to be great, and then again, you get horrible self-doubt creeping, and this looks awful. What am I doing here? Why am I even doing this?
I know the
In the
feeling.
end, you're like, yeah. And near the end, you're like, I think I can see the light here, and I just want to, I want to get this finished, but also I want to make sure I get it done well. So
Yeah, I mean, I found that certainly when I've been doing streams and when I've also been making sure that I like try to get a good video out and things like that over the last couple of months, which I mean has been in the run up to in the run up to my child being born, so that's been interesting to say the least. Like
Yeah.
it's tried to get out as many as I could, but you know, things could be better, and I'm always looking at it going, oh, okay, I could have done this, or I could have done that, or you know, so it's always going to be one of those things. So yeah, I can completely understand where you're coming from in that regard. Miki says you are very huggable.
I am very huggable. Who said that? Who needs a
Miki.
hug?
Miki.
Then I shall store up a hug when I next see them.
I was gonna say you. I'm guessing Miki is speaking from personal experience.
Yeah. Oh, he is. Yeah, he is. Yeah. I was fortunate to go to the is it called the Dawning? I think it was called the Dawning. The Christmas at Bungie event down in
Oh
London.
right, yeah.
And I got to meet up with loads of people from the UK community, which was fantastic fun. Deej was also there, which was great to meet him again. Such a nice guy. But yeah, Emily, Megan, X, and Meki were
She's
there.
wonderful.
Yeah, so it was great seeing those two. I'd never seen them IRL, as they say. So it was lovely. Yeah, we all had big hugs. Spent the evening like having fantastic Destiny-themed drinks, doing quizzes, just generally just chatting. It was just a really nice time. Really fortunate to be able to be invited. I really enjoyed myself.
Oh man,
Yeah,
if I could have been in London for that event, oh, that would have been
It
fun.
was great. We even had what's her name? I forgot her name. Who does the is Eva? Who does the events?
Eva
in
Levante?
Destiny? Yeah, Eva Levante was there.
The voice of Eva Levante.
I don't know. She just looked just like her. She had the whole outfit on and everything. She was giving out Christmas gifts. It was amazing.
That sounds so good.
Yeah, it was really
I
cool.
didn't know about that.
Yeah,
I
little
actually
kind of
pre-ordered that stuff.
little biscuits, little kind of baked cookies in the the kind of the Christmas event
Oh,
cookie.
yeah.
So good.
I actually pre-ordered the I pre-ordered the cookbook. I'm planning on doing. I probably won't be doing a stream of it, but I'll probably just do a series of just posts of me just cook like one a day of just each recipe in the book, because I love to cook myself, and honestly a cookbook based on stuff from a video game is just right up my alley. I love that idea. And apparently it's written from Eva's perspective too, like she's talking to us as Guardians, which I really hope is true, because oh my god, I want to try that. I want to see that. I mean, she teaches us how to make yellow doodles.
That sounds awesome. I didn't realise they'd done it that way.
I mean, honestly, like thinking about it, I don't think Bungie could have done it any other way.
No, that's a good point. Yeah, who else would cook? I can't think of it. Oh, who else cooks? I suppose it could have been Drifter.
Yeah, Drifter. Oh, exotic drop. Hello, what do we got here? And die at the same time. Ah. Nice handshake.
Gotcha.
Is it a better roll than my Liar's handshake?
Oh,
It is a worse roll than my current Liar's handshake. Okay then. I was going to say something. I completely forgot what it was. Anyway, couple more questions here. What games? What are the games which have great art style, or the greatest art style in your opinion?
Ooh, that's a good one.
I mean, apart from Destiny.
So I do love stuff that are kind of stylistically out there. There's a few from like gaming past that I love. Jet Set Radio, I'm a big fan of. Things like Okami, Team Fortress 2. What else? What else do style? I'm trying to think. It's usually the more niche indie dev games where they can concentrate on creating an art style that is just experimental and kind of serves the gameplay or the game design best. Yeah, so I do things. I prefer things that are more stylized. I mean, obviously there are games out there that are technical achievements. Like I'm currently playing Last of Us Part 2, which is just mind-blowing good in terms of its technical achievement.
I really need to play that at some point.
It's beautiful. Being a games dev, I just keep walking around looking at the snow and the rocks and the textures on the faces. And
apparently, you can make a snow angel in that game.
Really?
Oh, you can do something like that. Oh no, it may not be that. I've seen someone create a snow. Well, it's a snow penis. Yeah, it's a snow penis. They made a snow penis in the game. That's probably what I'm thinking of, to be fair.
I think that's true of any game where you can make your mark on the game or build anything. Time to penis.
Oh yeah,
is always
every time. Every time.
I worked on a Voxel game, and immediately it was like one of the devs had immediately built a penis. The first thing they built, it was like, oh come on, man.
Oh, is that in one of the games that you'd done?
Yeah, I worked on a game called Sky Saga. It was a free-to-play, like, it was Zelda meets Minecraft. It was good fun. Worked for quite a few years. Really enjoyed working on it. Sadly, it's no longer live. That's where it goes.
Oh well, yeah, I suppose. I mean, over time, it is bound to happen.
You find that with every game you make, you learn so much, and the kind of what you learn through development, the things you can apply to your next game, and the relationships you build with your team are just amazing. To be honest, that's the best thing. We get to work with talented, fun people.
Oh, I almost got sent over to the other side. Okay, that was actually pretty close. Have you seen Ghost of Tsushima yet?
I haven't. Oh, I mean, I've seen the screenshots.
Nice.
Yeah, I still want to play that.
I'm lucky enough that I get to play it on a PlayStation 4 Pro.
Oh really?
And it is a beautiful game. It's just this ultimate mix between essentially Japanese Assassin's Creed and Breath of the Wild, funnily enough. There's a really Zelda-esque kind of it's got a Zelda-esque kind of feel to it, to the point where you have Ocarina of Time level have an instrument you can use to change the weather, which is just awesome, and it actually has a really like poignant story behind why you actually have that weapon in the first place, and the first time you actually use it in the game, and the game's story is just a very poignant moment as well. It's like, oh, I love this. It's so good.
Yeah, I wouldn't have expected that. That sounds fantastic.
Yeah, I hadn't heard anything about it in what I'd read or seen of the game, although I did try to keep myself as very blind as possible going into it, so I could be a little bit, surprised.
I do that more
than I usually do.
With games and films. I have a tendency to avoid trailers and promotional content as much as possible.
When it comes to Destiny, though, like I kind of, by my own nature, but also just by the kind of person I am, and the and the content I create, I kind of keep myself as up to date on these kinds of things as possible, even if I don't end up discussing the details on the channel or in any of the videos I make. Yeah, I all of the exegete logbook and whatnot. I know all the details coming out in that. I've read ahead because it has been available to do so. I wouldn't recommend that for everybody, but I'm one of those people. I have to know. I have to know. I see the information. I'm like, give me the information.
Yeah, with Destiny, I'm the same. Actually, to be honest, I think I'm the same with Destiny. I do have the tendency to watch everything that's going on.
Oh, honestly, I would sign 1 million non-disclosure agreements if it just meant that I could find out what's going to happen in next season. Yeah. Oh, I would. Actually, leads us on to the next question in a similar kind of way. What is your favourite game or games? If you have like maybe a top 5 or a game series that you quite enjoy.
Favorite games. Okay, so there's a game I think I've played. I think I've played it on almost. It feels like every console. That's not entirely true, but I would say the original Doom. I've played so many times, and I always. I'm currently playing it again on Switch at the moment.
Yeah.
You're kicking some some kind of modifiers to modify the original levels, which is really enjoyable. But yeah,
Nice.
Doom has to be up there just because the amount of times I've played it.
It's also available on PlayStation now too. The Doom 1, 2, 3, 2016, like Slayer collection thing, and then obviously Doom Eternal being its own separate game. But yeah, I think that collection of the first 4 are like $40 Australian, $50 Australian, something like that. Relatively cheap. So yeah. Well, anyway, there you go.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely love that. What else? Top games. I did play a lot of Team Fortress. I think if you look at my hours played, I played a lot of that. I mean, obviously Destiny 1 and 2. That's a good question. Favorites. I think. I played a lot of the Warhammer 40k Dawn of War series. I enjoyed that a lot. Which is a different type of game for me. I don't usually play that. You tend to play third person shooter games. But I'd say I like playing a lot of small indie games as well.
Yeah.
Recently, I've been playing. I finished the last Tomb Raider game. I finished that recently.
What's that? It was. Oh, I've got that game too.
Shadow, was it?
Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Yeah, because it was Tomb Raider, then there was Rise of the Tomb Raider, and then Shadow of the Tomb Raider with the it was like an Aztec sun god, I think it was, kind of thing that you were dealing with.
Yeah, I recently downloaded Shadow of the Colossus to play again. Because I played that years ago, obviously when it first came out, and then had the tendency to, I didn't finish it, annoyingly. I think I got about 2 bosses from the end, and stupidly didn't finish. So it's my plan to actually go back and finish Shadow of the Colossus at the moment.
Yeah, I haven't actually played Shadow of the Colossus, funnily enough. It was always one of those games that I was like, oh yeah, I definitely need to play that. That game looks awesome. Never got round to it at all.
Yeah, you can miss a game, can't you? It can happen.
It's so easy, especially with all these amazing games coming out these days, and I'm having less and less time to play them. And I mean, it's been a miracle I was able to get away with a Ghost of Tsushima stream earlier today, and this. It's there's always so much to do.
Yeah, I find that sometimes I don't have a tendency to finish a game if I find them to be overly long. Just because, let's say, time is a kind of a premium with games. You don't It could be a large investment, so I will sometimes just move on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of glad that Beyond Light's been pushed to the 10th of November, purely because it gives me a little bit more time to grind some stuff out. Because I know I'm going to need it, especially if I'm playing Tsushima at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. I was quite conscious of me currently playing Last of Us 2 and then Ghost coming out as well. And New Light is the name, isn't it? New Light.
Beyond Light.
Yeah, getting them Beyond Light. Thank you. Getting those down before Beyond Light came out.
So a question I haven't actually gotten around to asking you yet, but who is your who do you think, in your opinion, is the ultimate Destiny Bae?
Ooh, that's a good question.
You can have some time to think about this if you need.
Yeah. I mean, I've got a soft spot for Eris, for sure.
Right.
Dark and as weird she is. But I wouldn't say she's my bae. If I was to have to pick, I think it's going to be Petrovenge.
Interesting choice.
I mean, what's I like about her really? I mean, she's awoken. You know, that's hot.
So you already know that as a person she's very woke. It's always good.
Exactly. She's got the glowing eyes.
That one eye that she has. Yeah.
Yeah, eye patches are always plus 10 cool points. She can do that thing where she floats the knife in midair. She committed vengeance on behalf of Cade. That's got to be lovable.
Oh yeah.
I think she's just definitely she's badass and she's hot.
And you can't ask for anything more than that. You just can't.
She's pretty much the whole package. She's smart. She's intelligent. She's in charge of the awoken armies. Yep.
Alright, well, it's funny that you say that it is Petra, because it is exactly what Brian said the other day too.
No way.
Yeah.
Did he?
Both Petra. Which his wife then came in and just corrected him immediately. It's like, it better be me first.
Oh, yes.
My lovely partner says, even though she doesn't know much about the game, she'll say Elsie Bray. And the reason why she says Elsie Bray is because I unintentionally named my daughter after Elsie Bray.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah, like you know, I consider myself pretty fairly knowledgeable about the lore of Destiny, having been studying this stuff for like the last 5 years. But when I went to think about the name of my daughter, because we'd been fighting on it for like about 36 weeks, trying to think of a name, and I was scrolling through my Facebook friends list and I found someone I'd known in college. I was like, right, Elsie, sounds like a good name. Also sounds very familiar. I wonder why. Nope, didn't come across my head at all, and then immediately, that's right. Elsie Bray's a thing. The most likely the Exo Stranger. How did I not think of that, considering the next expansion focuses on her as a character?
It's great.
It wasn't one of my finer moments as a aspiring lore master. I'll say that much. Whew. But yeah, so that's the story of how I named my daughter. Okay. Hard-hitting question for you. Favorite dessert?
Favorite dessert? God, I should know this straight off the top of my head.
You always know these kinds of things about yourself, and then the moment someone asks you, you go, "Oh crap! What are desserts again?"
Are we categorising cake as dessert? Is that class?
Yeah. I'll class cake as dessert.
I can always go through the various types of dessert if this is needed. I'm a massive fan of Battenberg. Do you know Battenberg?
No, not off the top of my head.
Battenberg elsewhere. It's like a sponge that comes in pink and yellow squares. It's got marzipan around the outside.
Right.
So
Oh.
cake wrapped in marzipan, essentially.
We don't actually have that in Australia, so
Ah,
at least not that I've found.
send some
Anyway.
over.
Oh, missed him. Ah, missed him.
Recently, I've been eating a lot of. My wife makes a really good Eton mess. So that's probably another one you've not heard of.
No, that I have heard of, and that I have eaten. I was lucky enough to eat that while I was over in London. My mate cooked it up for me when I was over there, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Right,
That's a
though.
bit favorite. Difficult. There's so many I could choose from. Cheesecake. I can't give a vegetable
nice.
cheesecake.
Cheesecake, that is... Here's the thing, I hate cream cheese. Cream cheese can just... I will throw that in the bin. I do not like it. Cheesecake, which the main ingredient of it is usually cream cheese, I will eat hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of slices of cheesecake. It's weird. It's very weird.
It's very good stuff. Have you been to the Cheesecake Factory in America?
I haven't actually been to America, unfortunately, so no. But I definitely plan to.
They have like a whole book, a whole menu book of cheesecake. It's just crazy. Every type you could wish for.
Oh. Actually, I first heard about it off The Big Bang Theory, funnily enough. Hadn't realised it was a thing before then. But yeah, I'm really hoping that GCX 2021 I can actually make it, because that's kind of the dream. Hoping to get there and meet everyone in person and just connect with people, and it'd be awesome.
Great.
Have you? You've been yourself, haven't you?
I have, yeah, I've been twice. I didn't put anything in my chalice. I just realised. Hang on, it's just got some rooms in. Random rooms. Yes, I have. Yeah, I've been twice. I went once as just purely as a an attendee, just to see what it was all about. That was 2 years ago. Well, 3 years ago, I guess now.
Yeah.
And then last year I went as an artist on at a booth on Artist Alley.
Oh, that's
that was
right.
fantastic.
Yeah. Was it you who
Shared a
sent me the
booth with
photo?
you. Say again?
Was it you who sent me the photo of that?
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Shared a booth with Ferrian and Ore, Steph. It was really good fun, really enjoyable. Great to meet so many people and see people interested in your art. It's always lovely to talk about your artwork and talk to them and find out what they do and what they're up to. See all the other artists, obviously, such a nice group of people. Just hanging out with them. Yeah, it was just if you do have the opportunity, I kind of highly recommend it. Just to be around so many like-minded people who love the game.
Yeah.
The venue and the location is so cool, and obviously raising all that money for charity is an amazing undertaking. So.
Oh man, it's see, that's the thing I've found about just being in the Destiny community in general, but the more I've delved into it, and the more people I've connected with, it's got to be the best kind of community just out there. There's no other game that has such a vibrant, diverse, worldwide, and yet so wholesome and inclusive community. I mean, yeah, there are outliers. Yeah, there are shitty people around, which, there are going to be anywhere, but by and large, it is just full of genuine, brilliant people, and I'm just so lucky to be able to talk to and interact with all these awesome people like yourself. It's just brilliant.
Yeah, I agree. It's like, I mean, I haven't experienced many of the communities in the game, for the games, but this one with it's, as I say, it's the inclusivity of it. I found it amazing that people were so welcoming. I mean, a couple of art groups and in a clan and all the people in the Twitter sphere and online who talk, yourself, the kind of streamers like yourself are just all the everybody's just so welcoming, um, which I just find amazing.
It almost seems like, just because of the experience of other games and other communities I've been a part of over the years, it's just, and for one, it just doesn't seem to really stick around that often, but for two, I don't know, there just seems to be this level of toxicity that, like, I mean, I have said some choice words about certain games and Destiny before in the past in the heat of the moment, which I'm sure someone has saved a clip of it somewhere on the internet somewhere. I mean, I have raged quite a lot about Titans and Warlocks and how Hunters are just nerfed into the ground and they aren't the most mobile class anymore, which they should have been in the first place, because that's the entire point of them as a class. But it's not a sore point for me at all. But like, I tried to do as much good as I can. I know that I've got a small following, a very small following. I mean, most of the time, unless I'm doing an event, I'll usually only have a couple of people watching, and that's great. I mean, even if only one person's watching, it's still, I am doing some kind of good, because I'm able to provide entertainment for that one person. I'm able to, bring some kind of joy to that one person, and it's kind of how I try to live my life as well. I do whatever I can to make. I want to know that at the end of my life, I've left the world in a, even if it's a slightly better place than it was when I came into it. I've made some person's life a little better, and that's, to me at least, the sign of a life well lived, if you can do that. So, especially having this platform, that's what I want to do and what I want to keep doing, for as long as people will let me do it. So,
I agree. It makes a difference. I think it shares it around. If more people are positive and happy around each other, it makes everybody's day happier. Just pass it on.
Yeah, exactly. I was watching a buddy of mine, Sin, on Twitch earlier today, which was night for him in the eastern. He's eastern coast. I'm thinking of east coast of America. I'm thinking of Obi Catty Cat, who's in the UK herself, I believe. Yes. Anyway, I was watching his stream earlier today, and there was a bit of a sub hype train going on, and I contributed a couple to that, because he's an awesome dude and deserves all the success that's coming his way at the moment, and that's what it's all about, like spreading that joy and spreading that love to people, because we all need it, we all deserve it, and there's never, you can never have too much of it, you never have too much.
Exactly. I think what's helpful as well is you can tell that the devs and the community team on Bungie, they really love their game. This is obviously a passion project for them. That one they've been working on for now, like, I don't know, is it 6+ years? I don't know how long it is now. And you can, they're such positive guys that I think it permeates into the community and the game itself. They do it. They work coming from a place of love for the game they're making.
I mean, you can tell that even through the community managers, like with and I know this is meant to be an interview stream, but I mean, we're going to talk about this because it is important to keep talking about it, because it is still happening out there. But with the protests that sparked up after George Floyd's death, and the extreme amount of change that has gone on in the last just this year in general, has been amazing. It's amazing to see so many people coming together like this, and to see the Destiny community come together like this. But the moment this happened, everyone at Bungie, but especially Dylan, just started speaking up left, right, and center. They were straight there, they're on the ground, part of the process, and have been consistently speaking out against every kind of racism, sexism, every kind of like homophobia, transphobia, every single kind of discrimination, and have been consistently over the last couple of years. And that just makes me love these guys even more. I mean, one of their most prominent level designers and one of the most talented people I've seen, especially in recent years, Nine Hydras, is an amazing woman who is trans herself and has gone through quite a lot, but she speaks out and it stands so strong against all of this hate that people have unfortunately sent her way on occasion. But it's just an example of just how awesome the people at Bungie are, that they're just so welcoming and inclusive, and I don't know, I could sing their praises all day.
Yeah.
And Anna's here. Anna, good morning. Good morning to you over there in Brazil. I hope it's a nice. I believe it's summer over there at the moment. So nice, warm morning for you. It is freezing down here at the moment because Tasmania, being one of the closest points, if not the closest point on Earth to Antarctica, we get Antarctic winds throughout winter, so it is insanely cold. It's not like, it doesn't usually get below 0 much, but it's a very it's a cold that, while it doesn't get below 0, feels like it's 10 degrees below 0. So for those who use the Celsius way of measuring temperature, I can't remember the comparison in my head straight off the bat to Fahrenheit, but it's there. Oh, thank you, babe. Oh, my lovely partner is saying you made a baby, and that's a pretty big thing, which is very, very true. Although I think I kind of got the easy end of the bargain in the making of saga. But and she just said that I stepped up and took Amara on as my own, because my eldest daughter is not biologically mine, but I've been a part of her life since she was about 3 months old.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah, the sperm donor, as we ever so affectionately refer to him as, has not ever been a part of her life, and has actually denied her existence almost from the moment that she was born. So yeah, it's
a shame.
unfortunate, but honestly, she's better off without him, to be perfectly fair. But yeah, she's got me, so she's good. Nice sleepy morning here. I went to bed this morning doing I was gonna say Spyro Stars, Scourge of the Past. Were you able to get that done? Because I know you haven't had exactly the greatest experiences raiding lately, Anna, so I hope it went well for you. Get that guy down. Alright, if we finish this menagerie, we should both be good to go to the actual story mission. Hopefully.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yours should be good as well. Mine's done at the moment, but yours should be also hopefully done.
Check in a minute. Yeah, I've been really enjoying the weekly story.
Oh, I'm getting done in by something. What am I getting? Oh, I'm getting done in by the Striker. That's why. That did not go well. Oh, wow. So, over the years, you've certainly done a lot of work in the gaming industry, as you said, but... Oh, hold on, I've got to take this hat off. Ugh. Hats always make my forehead very, very itchy. Now, you've certainly done a lot of work over the years in the gaming industry, but you've also done work here and there as commissions for certain people.
Yeah.
What do you reckon's been your favourite piece to work on?
Favorite piece to work as a commission or just a favorite piece?
Yeah, one of both.
I think I very much enjoyed the opportunity to work with Bungie on the first of the community artist feature that they did, where they put the community's artwork on sale in the Bungie store. That was very cool.
I was actually going to ask you about that next too, so that handles that.
Yeah, that was amazing. At the time, I was in the middle of finishing a piece, and it kind of lined up really nicely that I could put together the Titan, the Hunter, and the Warlock in one. So that was very cool. I worked with Eric at Bungie on that, and
Yeah.
such a nice guy. So that was very rewarding. To obviously to do it was very much my artwork, which felt good, rather than somebody else's piece. If you get my meaning, it was
Yeah.
it was really mine. And Bungie were just happy to support the artwork that I was doing, which was fantastic. So yeah, that was great. God, commissions. I think it was bizarre. I think I started off my very first piece I did. The very first piece of Destiny fan art got turned into a T-shirt design that Bungie sold, which was bizarre.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it was. They did it in conjunction with a company called, I think they've changed name now, called We Love Fine, a T-shirt company, and I happened to draw a little cartoon like Iron Lord with the flaming axe, and it got chosen. It was purely just, for me at the time, it was just I wanted to do a different drawing.
Yeah.
And I thought, I'll draw that Iron Lord in a cartoon style. That'll be fun. But that started me off. That started off my Destiny art.
Right. Well, I think I actually remember that piece.
Yeah, the giant flaming axe with him running along, little kind of cartoony guy.
Yeah.
And then it's funny how it just moves on from piece to piece. Then you know Tefty from DCP.
I have seen him around on Twitter. Yes, I haven't actually had the chance to chat to him much, but
yeah. So he contacted me about doing T-shirt designs for him. So that was amazing. Because I was a big fan of his streams and the DCP guys.
Yeah,
Actually, it was Planet Destiny back then. Actually,
I'm hoping I can get on there sometime soon. I'm trying to connect with as many people within the Destiny community as I can, and any kind of creator of any kind, be it anything from a podcast to a piece of artwork to a video to a recipe or a dance number. It doesn't really matter to me. So as long as it's some kind of creation to do with Destiny, I'm like, I want to meet you. But
they're truly lovely guys as well. I've had a chance to kind of hang out with all of them. I've been fortunate at one of the Guardian kind of events, and they're
nice.
they're lovely people.
so
my first. That was my kind of. They're kind of strangely my first couple of commissions. Generally, I don't take on many commissions. I've got my full-time job. I've got my wife and my kids. I've got my own fan art, which takes ridiculously long to do. So I usually don't take on many commissions. To be honest, a lot of people do approach me, but I have to turn them down. Sadly, I just don't get the time to do it.
It's understandable. What do you do?
But
for
occasionally,
work?
What do I do for work?
Yeah.
So I work in the games industry.
More so at the moment. Sorry, I should have been more specific. That's on me. I'm got a space.
Because
can you tell?
I mean, yeah. So as I say, I'm currently I'm art director on Evil Genius 2, which will be coming out soon. Yeah, we're coming up to the end of the project soon, actually. So that takes obviously a lot of time and concentration.
Yeah.
Lucky to work with, obviously, as I said before, a very talented team, which makes life so much easier when you're working with a bunch of ninjas. It's always good. A lot of us have worked together for a long time, so we've always have an unspoken understanding of what's required, which makes work so much easier as an artist. But yeah, the challenges are fantastic fun. So enjoyable to work with them, to work on a game like that. Yeah, thoroughly enjoying it. So yeah, come home. When I come home, I do my own personal artwork. I do it at the weekends. Obviously, to get up early on a Saturday morning, come downstairs and yeah, just work away for like good five or so hours, and then I say just that adds up over time. Surprisingly, it adds up to plus 50 hours in the end on a piece. Just because I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, God, like the couple of videos that I've done, as poor a quality as they are, have taken weeks to put together purely because of time constraints. So I mean, I can't imagine a talented artist like yourself how much time it must take to put together all those various bits of artwork you've done over the years.
I think that's the thing about it, a lot of them not being commissions is that you don't mind how long it takes you, because it's just I'm purely doing it for enjoyment. I'm doing it for the enjoyment of making the art, for the enjoyment of others experiencing it.
Yeah.
For the enjoyment of my enjoyment of the game itself. So it's a very fortunate place to be, and it's very enjoyable to work in that way.
What have we got here? It is, oh yeah, good. I'm glad Scourge went well for you. Anna, got your Warlock to do Scourge and found out that you had a boss save from June last year. Wow. That's insane. It's probably the last time I played my Warlock 2, to be honest. Oh, Ian Pesty's Sarcophagus of the Exile is one of your fave Hunter pieces, and you don't even play Trials. Well, there you go.
Thank you.
It is an amazing piece, though.
Funnily enough, I don't play Trials myself either. I don't play Trials.
I'm terrible at it. I am terrible at any PvP event.
Yeah, I would need to be carried through, that's for sure.
Oh, same here. Same here. I'm not the greatest when it comes to that kind of thing, unfortunately. But like there's a reason why amongst certain groups of my friends I am known as Bottomus Prime, because I have pulled off some really body players over the years, and it has not gone in my favour. I can hold my own on occasion, you know, but high-end competitive events is just, oh, it is a whole other ball game. I am not even close.
Yeah, exactly. I can compete so far. We're talking kind of like middle the range, but beyond that, no. I'm just way too slow compared to the way that people move around the Crucible.
Oh man, even running a max mobility hunter with stompies, the traction mod, and a lightweight weapon frame, I can't move that far.
Exactly, that's it. I'm the same. I run max mobility, but that doesn't mean I'm actually mobile when I play.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. How does How's your quest going at the moment? Are you good to go into the mission?
Mine's done. Yeah, mine's done.
Alrighty, well,
Go.
gonna quickly reslot my. Is it Run of Wealth? Yeah, it's Run of Wealth. Reslot my chalice for next time because, just in case I happen to go into Menagerie anytime soon. Good to know. And we will get into the mission. Pretty excited about this, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Jump in. So, what would be your favourite story in Destiny? Favourite tale that is told so far? Be it in-game, in the Grimoire cards, like the Books of Sorrow, or just any part of the Destiny universe.
That's a good one. Man. I've read, I think most of Lore Book 1 and Lore Book 2 that was put out, the books, that is.
The Destiny Grimoire
Yeah.
anthologies,
Grimoire,
which I've got right here.
Yeah. I think the whole last word, I can't remember the names. Is it Shin Malpa and
Shin Malfa, Jaren Ward, and
Yeah, I think
Basil / Dragonure, yeah.
Yeah, I think I actually I listened to Bife's video of that while I was on a coach somewhere, and I thoroughly enjoyed that recollection, like with the illustrations, and I found that fascinating. But I really enjoyed the kind of well, I won't say the birth of the hive, but the beginnings of the hive. Oryx and his sister and brother. Yeah, the three of them.
Shiva Arath is female.
They're all female, aren't they? Actually, I think.
Yeah, they started off as Orash, Sathona, and Shiro, and then when they took on the Worm God's children and their respective Knight, Mother, and King morphs, they become. Oh, I can move around, but I'm stuck in a loading part. Anyway, well, might as well while we wait. So they transitioned into Sathona, Shiva Arath, and Aurix, or Urix. It's a different way of saying it. It's AURYX. But it's only when actually, you know, he might have become male when he took on the King morph originally. Oh man, I looked at this recently. But yeah, it's either when he did that or when he slew Akka, the Worm God of Secrets, to get the secret of communing with the darkness, and then went and communed with the darkness, and then came back when he became Oryx, the Taken King. When he is most likely when he transitioned, but I do feel like it was actually when he took on the King morph originally back on the world of Fundament. I'll have to go over my notes again for that, because I did a episode. I did a video.
Remember it? I did. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, it's one of those like right almost at the beginning of time bits of lore that you don't tend to read about too often. I mean, it's a great story. Like, it absolutely should be read by pretty much everyone in the Destiny community if they can ever get around to it. But, yeah. I did the video on Savathun and who she is recently, and man, I've had a mind blank.
I said you remembered it better than I did. I just remembered the bones of the story.
Honestly, I've got a terrible memory sometimes. We went down easy. this thing won't. God, I love Celestial. That took out half its health in one hit.
Oh, that was quick, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. Oh, and yeah, I actually was able to confirm that none other than Mark Hamill himself does, at least as far as I was able to ascertain, voice the ever so wonderful necromancer Nokris, who we just heard speak just then, which is pretty cool.
That is cool.
Because there was a lot of rumor going around that whether or not he was the voice of Nokris. No one seemed to be able to confirm it. So I just straight out asked him on Twitter one day. I was like, "Hey, are you the voice of Nokris in Destiny?" And I mean, he liked the tweet, so maybe.
That's cool. He's a good guy, isn't he?
He's just the definition of a celebrity who still has remained humble, even though he's enjoyed some of the most success ever. Top tier voice actor he is.
Yeah. Joker stuff's amazing, isn't it?
Oh, right. Some of the stuff he's done. I mean, I even forgot when I was watching through Avatar: The Last Airbender a couple of months ago. I forgot he voiced Lord Ozai, the Fire Lord, in that.
Right.
Yeah, he's done a lot of work.
Squashed.
I keep forgetting that the power level of these enemies I think is a bit off, because it says like it's like 1040 or 1020, but all of them have swords for me.
Yeah, me too.
I'm totally sure
It's
why.
certainly a feel 1040. I did it.
God, that sword is way too powerful.
It's great. I do like it when you get a new weapon, or a couple new weapons per season that just they just jump out as being so much fun.
Yeah. It was an interesting way of bringing back the 3 exotic swords from Destiny 1, but just slightly different enough where they could just return as exotic, as legendaries. I mean, the role people seem to be going for at the moment is, excuse me, it was, I'll bring it up. Falling Guillotine with, was it Jagged Edge? Yeah, Jagged Edge, Swordmaster's Guard, Relentless Strikes, and Whirlwind Blade, with the ability to have Enduring Blade as well. Because there's you could go Jagged Edge for the increased damage at the cost of sword ammo, or Enduring Blade, which greatly increases sword ammo at the cost of damage, and then switch out a boss spec for a backup mag, and 2 lots of increased sword reserves for the most amount of ammo you can get on your sword, and then just consistently, instead of either use Whirlwind Blade or just consistently use Relentless Strikes to constantly keep getting back ammo, so you can continue to farm damage up to a certain point. But I don't think that works as well as just hit, and then use the special attack and then just keep going.
Yeah, I think I've got Whirlwind. I think it might have Relentless, or I'd have to go and check.
Oh, this is going to end very quick. As soon as that thing opens, I've got a very nice Celestial Golden Gun shot right into its face. Oh my god, I am the worst bloody shot with snipers.
It's open.
Oh, just stop. Yeah, there we go. Ah, you're kidding. It moved right as I went to shoot it. Oh, why does this stuff always happen to me? Always happens to me.
That's the big guy.
Ah, yes, the shifting blade. Actually, you know what? The shifting blade, also the pretty much the same design as the hive knights from like the Infinite Forest. I love these designs, and the design of the hive knights from the menagerie. They just look so different. It just looks so just vastly different, and it's just nice to see something like that. Because most of the time we just get reskins, which I can understand, but still.
Yeah, I'm really hopeful for the
Are we missing?
the online that is pyramid guys being something different would be great.
Oh yeah.
Oops.
There it is. And that's an umbral. So I should. Oh, well, actually, we'll see what she says this week, and then I've got another question for you.
This message means contrast in the naturalistic sense, but also implies a judgment. Humanity assigns moral meaning to change, interpreting it as for better or for worse. Do we think of winter as evil because summer flowers must wither and die? We do not. And the darkness asks us why.
Deep.
Do need to get that emote. I do like that emote.
Good emote, isn't it?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, it's my evil genius one.
I love that. I love that. That's so good.
A mistake from which no knowledge is gained. Collapse.
I still don't know why it's 500 seconds here. I have not been able to find a significant answer as to why.
No. And it's strange how you can repeat the previous
Yeah.
conversations.
I mean, unless they put it in there just in case, like, by the time it gets to the final week, you can just repeat every single one? I don't know.
I saw a screenshot of I'm sure it was like an Osiris eye somewhere around here. I'm sure somebody posted a screenshot of that. Maybe it wasn't here. Somewhere in the water on the outside edge somewhere, but
An Osiris eye?
yeah, like a metal shield with his eye on it. You know, his symbol.
Oh, okay.
But I could have seen that from somewhere else. Somebody posted a picture of one. It was in this blue mist, but it could have been on a different part of the mission.
Oh, okay, right. Oh, now you've got me curious.
Yeah, I'll have to find that. That somebody tweeted it. I remember seeing it, but I wasn't paying attention to where it was. But it felt like it was somewhere here.
I mean, there's a fair bit of blue mist around
There is
here at the moment.
Yeah, yeah. It wouldn't make it easier to find here.
Well, might as well go around and have a quick look. But I am asking you a lot of questions. Is there anything in particular you would like to ask me of anything, or maybe anything lore related? I know I'm not someone like Mylan or Bife or anyone like that, but I know a little bit about a little bit, so might be able to answer a question or two for you.
Let's have a think. Well, I guess as a straight off question, while I'm trying to think of a more intelligent question. What was the first? Did you choose Hunter as your first main when you first started Destiny 1 or /2?
Oh yeah, yep. Straight away, I was told actually that hunters were, by all reports, were going to be the things to choose, and I loved the look of them. It's like, oh yeah, they look sleek, they look awesome. The hunter's jump felt the most natural to me as well. It just, that was because the double and triple jump have just been staples of staples of RPGs and a lot of games in general for the longest time. So it's just like, this sounds awesome. This feels awesome. Yeah, I am absolutely going to run that, and yeah, just have a look back.
Yeah, I agree. That was the same for me. It was that I liked the idea of being. I always play characters that are quite swift and stealthy and nimble in games. I like that. I like that aspect of play. So yeah, that was the same for me. I found a skull over here, a really big creature skull, which I hadn't seen before. Don't know what the hell this is. I don't know if this is something that's on IO elsewhere.
IO is definitely littered with them.
Yeah, it's just looks like a big, looks like a Triceratops skull type thing.
If you can get up high enough and have a look, especially from my perspective, you can definitely see more of the dark tree an orb that is forming. But you can also see towards the right hand side, you can actually see the textures of Ruinous Effigy and Divinity. The darker textures that you can also see in Garden of Salvation towards the end. And the pyramid shifts from the beginning from the end of the Savathûn Shadowkeep story missions, all the same kind of texture you can see on the right hand side of this tree, which is it's very interesting.
Okay, I have a question related
Yes.
to the tree, or I guess to this area, should I say? We know that the traveller stopped here. That's right, yeah.
Yeah, it was the last place the traveller touched with its light before it finally rested on Earth. And
Do we
this
know
is
why it stopped here?
nope, no idea.
Because it's obviously, and there's obviously, it feels like a cradle formed around it, or it just found a natural crater within Io to sit on. I was just wondering if you knew why it settled here, because obviously it does things kind of like it has purposes where it lands. It usually chooses a people, doesn't it, of some kind?
Yeah, it's actually kind of interesting if you look back at the story of Ares 1, the first mission that humanity had to make contact with the Traveler. If you remember back to the beginning of Destiny 1, in its first opening cutscene, it had the 3 people approaching the Traveler on Mars. Well, that was the story of Ares 1. And during that, reading up about it, you actually see that humanity first spotted this unidentifiable moon-like object, which they eventually ended up calling Moon X, because they didn't know what it was, appear at the edge of the solar system, and then it started making jumps all around. It wasn't following a path that they were able to work out for quite a while until one day they were able to do so, and then as a result they were able to go meet it on Mars. But I can't remember the exact pathway or if it actually states it. I don't think it does, but it jumped around the solar system in a seemingly random order, terraforming planets, and if they didn't terraform planets, it affected moons and other various things like Ceres, for example, the largest asteroid in the asteroid belt. So it touched a lot of different places, but it didn't touch Earth first. It didn't touch Earth last. Unless you are counting when it birthed the ghosts, the last place it touched, transformed, and did something to with its light was this place right here on Io. Io in general, but this cradle. And you can see when you go back out to Io and have a look at where this currently is, it almost looks like there is a city built around it. Don't know too much about the city itself.
Oh, right. Is that what you can see? I was wondering what that was.
It does look like a city. As far as we can tell, it is effectively some kind of city, because it would have been built there by people seeking to understand more about the Traveler, connect with it a little bit more, wanting to study it, as Io in general is very potent with the Traveler's, the ghost of the Traveler's essence, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I guess it's quite telling that it's been named the Cradle as well, being like a birthplace or a place that is something that's young.
Oh yeah, and again, as far as we're able to ascertain, and we can say this with almost 100% certainty, much in the same way we can say that with Elsie Bray being the Exo Stranger, this tree was not here originally. This was birthed out of the seed that Osiris was given in Season of the Worthy and was told by Mara Sov to actually plant. He planted the seed here, and the tree has grown as a result.
Good stuff.
Yeah. So Charlie disconnected. I'm going to take us back to the tower because I've got some umbral engrams I need to decrypt. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and do that. If you had the chance to, would you? What would you like to work with Bungie on? Is there a particular part of Destiny? Is there a particular world, race, people, storyline, character, or something like that that you would like to work on?
That's interesting. I mean, I feel that as being a consumer of their product and, you know, enjoying the world that they create, I actually enjoy the surprise more of what they create. But if I were to, I think being involved in maybe in ornament designs for helmets or variation of existing armor, I'd very much enjoy to do that. I find the designs to be fascinating as they are and really well formed, but I'd like to come up with some alternates and some variations.
Yeah.
The same with creating, I think, some visuals for, I guess, for decoration and for like symbolism in their game, which I think again they do a fantastic job of. But to be involved in that would be fantastic. I'd really enjoy that.
Right.
Yeah. So anything like that would be greatly rewarding. I think I'd pretty much enjoy that, and it kind of works with the kind of stuff I do. So that would work pretty well. I'd enjoy that.
I guess following on from that, another question I would have for you is there a game that's currently out at the moment or that is coming out that you would love to work on right now? Like if you got the chance, if you were asked, what would be the game that you would love to work on that isn't Destiny?
Wow, that's a tough one, especially being a developer as it is. I think a game like in the making, like Cyberpunk must be fascinating. I think making that world that really hasn't been touched on that often, which is kind of surprising. Working essentially on a cyberpunk world would be. There's so much to draw from. I mean, cyberpunk has been around for so long, and it's such a trope. And there's so many places you could pull from. The design, I think, forming its characters and its environments, and you know, its symbolism and its kind of its narrative language, its narrative and its design language would be fascinating. I think that would be. I think it'd be so big. It'd be quite an undertaking. So you could a product like that would you could see why it would take a while to develop. Yeah. But taking a bite-sized chunk of that, if it was even just developing, let's say, you know, the kind of like the communication systems and the kind of the TV channels, or if it was designing all the vehicles, would be fascinating in itself. Or the all the augmetics and the all the kind of add-ons to people would be fascinating.
So I guess
so, yeah.
I'll continue.
that was it really.
I was just going to ask. So I guess in relation to that, then, would you say that Cyberpunk 2077 is the game that you're most looking forward to at the moment?
I think it's. I mean, obviously, I'm looking forward to my own game. Being out.
Well, yeah.
But obviously, of others, yeah, I think I think that and Ghost of Tsushima have been my kind of my must plays this year. And Last of Us 2 were the kind of the three I was very much looking forward to. Yeah, I think that's been knowing their pedigree with with the Witcher series, and then what we've seen so far, it looks like they're going to do that world justice. I mean, that's what you hope for. When somebody creates something that everybody else has had an eye on and would love to have a crack at, you hope that the team doing it do a very good job of it. I mean, they're always going to do their very best. It just if it matches expectations of you as the player. Somebody creating a cyberpunk world, as I say, it's not something we've seen many times. Everybody could imagine how that could be, and so I just very hopeful that it will be as good as you hope it will be.
I mean, if the Witcher games are anything to go on, especially Witcher 3, there's a reason why it has won Game of the Year, and its DLCs, its DLCs are considered some of the best, if not the best DLCs that have ever dropped for a game. That they could be standalone games surrounded by them. Yeah. Oh yeah, no, the DLCs are absolutely something that you should play if you do enjoy The Witcher 3.
Blood and Wine, is it called, or
Blood and Wine and Heart of Stone. Heart of Stone or Hearts of Stone?
I haven't heard the second one.
But yeah, I think it's Heart of Stone and then Blood of Wine being the second DLC. But yeah, they are both fantastic, but like independently reviewed as just some of the best DLC that's ever dropped for a game ever, and I can completely understand why.
The formation of that studio is a fascinating one as well. That they started off as selling, essentially reboxing and selling existing PC games into a market that had quite a heavy black market.
Really?
They were trying to make sure that legitimate games, the RPGs that they loved, were basically that they would get involved in making special edition maps, special edition boxes, and trying to get them out as legitimate sales rather than under the counter kind of type thing. And so they they lived RPGs for many years, and they eventually decided let's try and make our own. They spent years crafting that first Witcher. Basically kind of wanted to get around the can you go and collect me 20 rat's tails quests that you get on these things. I just went down and just kept on rewriting the story and the quest lines so that they were only the choice cuts, the things that were most interesting. And eventually became the studio they are today, which that's an amazing achievement.
Right.
Essentially humble beginnings.
Well, actually, that does bring up a very interesting question. In regards to the work you're currently doing at the moment, can you tell us a little bit more about how that got started, how you were able to go into the project yourself, and what can you tell us about the game?
Yeah, I mean, I can tell a little bit, but it's already out there, obviously. So yeah, I mean, Evil Genius 2 is a sequel to the original, which came, I think, back out in the early 2000s. Very popular, kind of, how would you call it? A base management game. It's a kind of a dungeon keeper-esque game where you play you essentially play the evil guy out of a Bond movie, a Blofeld alike. With the idea to create your base, your evil lair, and to take over the kind of the world through world domination. So yeah, well, I mean, when you start, you start by looking at the original game, and you want to kind of pay homage to that. Really, you want to make sure it feels like that original game, but also a game that's created back in the early 2000s is going to be so dated by comparison visually. You're making sure you bring it up to date, but again, not losing what was charming about the original game. And then just building over the period of years on the design and the artwork, and getting it to a place where it you know, it looks and plays as good as it does. So yeah, very very excited for that to come out.
Yeah.
It's probably about as much as I can say about it realistically.
Which is fair enough. Like I can completely understand the the inability to be able to speak about certain projects due to, you know, limitations and of
Exactly.
certain things, you know. So I get that. I get that. Ooh, I might actually. You know what we might do? We might jump in and play just a tad of Crucible. How do you feel about that?
Go for it. Yeah, I'll change my loadout.
Test
Prepare
out
to
a
see me
new.
die.
Oh, mate, it'll be a competition as to who can die the most. Gonna test out this new Imperial Decree I got. Interesting to see how that goes.
I've got a good Northern Hunger that I'm enjoying at the moment.
Same here, actually. I try and stay away. Well, I used to try and stay away from the meta as much as possible because, well, I used to hate getting killed by everything in the meta, but I've gotten used to it now. So I started grinding for what I would consider to be a god role, Gnawing Hunger for myself. And because I've got really terrible aim, and I'm playing on controller at the moment because I cannot get my head around PC controls, so
Yeah.
I went for
So-
a max stability Gnawing Hunger. So I've got Chambered Compensator, Steady Rounds, Zen Moment, and because that's going to max out stability as much as possible. But then the last perk I've got here is Kill Clip and Demolitionist. So I just run Kill Clip just because. Got a counterbalance stock mod on it, but
Yep,
the only thing I
counterbalance.
was missing was the stability masterwork. I've got reload speed instead.
I think I've got reload speed actually as well.
So close. It's almost.
I've got a lot of
perfect.
I've got a lot of rifle perks on my armor as well to help out.
Oh, same here. Like enhanced scatter projectile targeting, enhanced unflinching rifle aim. Just if I had a stability masterwork on it and could max that out, I'd be like, yes. I don't care if it's got max range or damage dealing perks or anything. If it's stable, I have more of a chance of getting kills with it because I'm not going to. Well, I am going to mess up my shots. I'm not going to mess up my shots as much, which is the
Exactly.
important thing.
I'm quite fortunate. I've got Zen Moment and Kill Clip, so that's a really good roll.
Oh yeah, that's one of the reasons why I like having mine actually, because it worked out pretty well. Because you can get an insane amount of reload speed on it actually.
Yeah. Yeah, I've just been surprised at how far it can do damage at as well. It seems to kind of reach out quite far for an auto rifle.
Even if it doesn't have max range, you know, like I've just literally picked up a roll at the moment that's got full bore accurized rounds. It's got field prep in like Rampage, but it's got a stability masterwork, which not the right bloody gun I wanted that on, but anyway. And the range is fairly substantial for what it is, but not exactly the role I want to go for, unfortunately. Anyway, let's jump into some Crucible and see how we do.
Yeah. See if I can do two things at once. Fight and talk.
Have you seen? I think it's Nem Plays on Twitter.
Yes, I know. Yes.
Nem. Awesome dude. I haven't had the chance to chat with him much yet, but God, some of the clips he posts of his PvP stuff just makes me hurt as a hunter, but also just makes me sad as a gamer because I'm like, I am not that good at all.
No. Exactly. Yeah.
Oh,
I know that feeling. Yeah, it always amazes me, like the multi kills that people can do, just the survival aspect of their move around the map.
Yeah, it feels kind of weird, like the way he's got such a command of blink as a warlock. He just it feels like he just teleports around the map and especially when he's running Nova Warp. He's faster. He's way faster than the Hunter could go. I mean, I've got to assume he's faster than a Hunter can go. It's just that's just insane.
And the thing is, if you ever try these things for yourself, you're like, oh, I'll give that a go. It looks like an easy win. But you try it yourself, and you're like, just crack into a crate and hit a wall and look embarrassed.
Yep. Oh yeah. I would say the proudest moment I've ever had as a hunter is being able to. I had a look at this guy later because I had to know, but this guy was a max resilience, an overflowing max resilience Titan, top tree Titan, right? Running Helm of Saint 14. He just popped his Titan bubble, so he's got his overshield up, full health, full shield, full overshield, in the middle of his Titan bubble with Helm of Saint 14. And I'm like, nah, not happening today. So I cast my Arc Strider Super, and I just run straight in there. It's not even top tree, it's bottom tree, so it doesn't get the additional damage, that you can do with it. I just jump straight in there and just start wailing on him. And, surprisingly, he stood there and took it. He just stood there. Because he's thinking, Hunter's not going to do anything to me. I died. Admittedly, I died. But, I killed him and destroyed his bubble, and I was so happy with myself. I'm like, yes! Life of a Hunter, man.
You got the kill.
Yeah. You know that he had the most health and shield you could pretty much get at that point, and I still managed to kill him, and I'm pretty happy about that. However, when it comes to this game, I have yet to get a kill.
Oh god, smoke killed him. Fantastic.
Nice.
Doesn't happen very often.
Oh, that hurt a little bit. Oh, yeah, I am. Okay, so. Oh, I just saw that happen too. So I heard a little bit of an echo. I'm starting to hear more of an echo on my end now, which is really frustrating because I know some people had said it before, but now I'm actually starting to hear it. I can't believe I didn't notice this before. Sorry guys, I really thought I had managed to fix the echoing issue, so I apologise to everyone who's been listening to this at the moment. Which also does mean it might show up on the stream when I upload it to YouTube. Ugh. Hope it doesn't, but we'll see what happens. Ah, damn it! I didn't but dodge. That is very unfortunate. Yeah, so I've got the lovely pleasure of being able to go through and... Oh, I barely survived that. And survived that. Oh, Jesus. I got the pleasure of being able to interview... Okay, Firion tomorrow.
Oh, have you? Fantastic.
Yeah, able to... It was a bit of a late notice, but was able to organise... Oh, that sucks. But I was able to organise an interview with him tomorrow morning for me, which will be actually about 12 hours from now, funnily enough.
Yeah, he's such a nice guy, very talented. So we got to share an art booth together at Guardian Con. Yeah, that's why I couldn't remember. Like, I was pretty sure it was you who told me about it, but then I was trying to think, was that you or was that him? Yes.
But yeah, so I'll get to chat to him tomorrow as well, which will be very, very fun. And then I'm hoping, plan is that I might be able to organise for you, Furion, Monkus, Emily Megan, and Cobb One Art to
that'd be great.
organise to have all of you on the stream sometime soon for a raid. Not exactly a raid-a-thon, but like a special like artists raid along kind of deal. Not sure exactly what you call it, but something like that.
That would be pretty cool.
But yeah, if you're down for that, I'll message you
Yeah.
later after the stream about it.
Yeah, it's been such a shame this year not being able to see everybody at Guardian Con. Usually get a chance to catch up with them all, and so it'd be nice to catch up with them all, like in that way instead.
Yeah, well, hopefully people would enjoy that kind of thing. Ah,
I saw that.
how bad do I need to shoot with my golden gun? But, oh, yeah, that's right. Golden gun doesn't get any damage resistance. The only super out of the 9 that we have that doesn't get any damage resistance. Just
Yeah.
A+. Anyway, yeah, I'm hoping over the next couple of weeks I'll be able to go through and interview more people in the community, more artists, but I'm hoping to do more of a like maybe the next 5 or so. 'Cause if I get into the habit, I can maybe interview about 5 or so artists at a time, and then maybe do like a big raid kind of thing together or something like that, which would be pretty fun. But I'm definitely wanting to go through and highlight my next group to be more female artists, artists of color, and trans artists within the community itself, just because they're all awesome, and it would be awesome to do that.
Definitely. There's a great diversity of artists there. Emily, Megan, and Jen Whaley are great artists.
Oh, I barely got that last hunter kill. Barely got that last hunter kill. That was so close. Whew. But yeah, Jem Whaley's definitely someone I've looked at. And I was able to go through and interview Emily. Was it close,
really?
close to 2 years ago now? I think it was.
Oh, wow.
Been a little while ago. So she was lovely. She's just so sweet. She's so kind. It was awesome being able to talk to her. And Cobb, I've had the pleasure of interviewing and playing with a couple of times as well. So
Cobb's a great guy. So much fun. So much fun to be with as well.
Yeah. Oh man, we were we were just spouting off dad jokes to each other for like about half an hour at one point.
It was Cobb and Brian and Kevin Reganet, who does all the kind of the chibi artwork. It was those three that got me into doing Destiny artwork in the first place.
Oh really?
They inspired me. Yeah, back then Brian was doing more cartoony work, and so it was obviously Kevin. But it was a combination of their work that kind of, yes, they've always been the kind of ones that I remember from the very beginning, kind of following their work. Oh, and Jake as well. Jake, Lady Summer Stone, Exo Watermelon.
Right.
All their work was the very first artwork I remember seeing.
Well, I did not know that, and I'm assuming that the people watching out there might not have seen that or known that either. So yeah, it's always really good to know.
Yeah, Jake's an amazing artist. Well, he's been doing stuff for years. He's obviously had his comic he was doing, the Exo Watermelon series, and again, he's such a nice guy. So much fun to hang around with.
See, this is exactly why I can't wait to meet everyone at like a GCX event, because that would just be so much fun.
Yeah.
It's fortunately, yeah. It's
Well,
not
it's a long,
something
it's a
that's
long
happening.
distance travel. It's the same for you. You're the same as me. You're
Mm.
traveling from a fair way out. That's a big flight.
Especially having 2 young kids. Because I would feel very, very, very guilty if I went over by myself. Because, oh hey, I get to enjoy a nice holiday and everything, especially in another country, and my partner doesn't get to come along. So she kind of misses out on all that, and also has to look after the kids. Yeah! But then, if I do bring her along, I can't not bring the kids, because we wouldn't be able to find someone to look after the kids, most likely. Which means it is, like, 10 times more. It's not even, like, 4 times. It is, like, 10 times more expensive trying to get them over. Then it's, so we'll have to see how it goes.
Yeah, it's a big commitment, isn't it? It was one of those things. It was I saw it very much as a treat. And it obviously was helped offset by obviously having an alley booth there and selling my artwork.
You just claim it as a business trip. Business trip while you're out there partying with Furion and Brian and Emily and whatnot. Oh, I did not have my shotgun out. Oh, this guy's using Jotun. He's pre-firing Jotun around a corner. Oh, no.
I don't come across many Jotun users these days, I've noticed. Not as much as I used to, I feel.
Oh, that was absolutely terrible on my part. Doesn't help that my shotgun does not have much in the way of range, so that is probably why. Although I have heard Chaperone since the... Oh, you're kidding! Oh, he's almost dead. That Chaperone, since the Slug Shotgun PvP update, PvE update, I should say, got like a 20 to 30% buff, so it ended up, it's actually a pretty good DPS weapon. Not optimal, not amazing, but still pretty good. Ah, come on. I'm gonna do better than this. I know I can do better than this. All I have to do is point the gun at the people before I shoot them. Usually tends to help. Oh, there's too many people.
Didn't see anybody in ages, then saw a whole group of them.
Oh, he barely escaped with his life again! It's the same dude! I keep running into the same person over and over again.
That does happen.
Oh man, it's been a long day. Oh yeah, I suppose I should ask as well. So you said your kids were 12 and 10?
Yeah.
When did when did they start showing interest in Destiny? Was it like more of a recent, like last year or two kind of thing, or did they start showing interest back in T1?
A couple of years ago. They've stopped playing now recently. They're on to something else now. Kids have tended to move on to different games quite quickly. But yeah, a couple of years ago, it was a bit disappointing that they happened to like playing a Warlock and a Titan. To be honest, I thought I'd spawned Hunters, but I didn't. It turns out.
Oh, that's got to be depressing.
It was depressing a little bit.
I would like to think that my my daughters may grow up being Hunter mains one day, but I mean, that's A, if Destiny 2 is still running at that point, and B, whether or not they actually want to play it, though. I mean, you know, that may or may not happen, but I'm hoping Oh, you come back here. You come back here. Yes! And I'm gonna die. And I'm not gonna die. Woo! I didn't die. Oh, I barely escaped that. But yeah, that's if they want to play games. Of course, they're going to be growing up playing games and watching shows that I absolutely love, like Dragon Ball, because I'm a massive Dragon Ball fan. Oh my god, that guy followed me.
Yeah, it's great. We get to play like, a lot of we play some Diablo together as a group, or play some Broforce, and it's great playing those games as a group of. You know, have your own fire team essentially. Grow your own fire team.
Oh, oh wow. Oh, I definitely got done in there. Grow your own fire team though. Do you think that you'll have enough to have a raid team one day?
No, I can't handle anymore. Seriously.
I mean, with yourself, your partner, and your 2 kids, all you need is two more to get a full raid team going.
It's true.
Well, it's something to consider anyway.
Yeah.
At the moment, hold on. Yeah, no. Technically, I'm two more off having a full raid team myself. So my partner is we both like to eventually try for a boy at some point in the future, but definitely not anytime soon, because while Elsie is amazing and beautiful and lovely and everything, she was a bit of a surprise. She said, Steph just said, don't even think about it, my limit's 3. Yeah, well, twins also run in my family, so it's very, very possible that she's going to end up having twins. So we'll see how that goes.
Oh, they're a handful, kids, that's for sure.
Ah, I almost got that. Whew. Okay. Yeah, I've been lucky. I've been lucky with the kids I have. That Amara is just absolutely wonderful. She's like the most easygoing, happy, just loving life kid that I've ever met. And Elsie, when it comes to being a child, I know she's just a newborn at this stage. She hasn't really developed much in the way of a personality as such, but that'll come in time. Oh, of course I have to run directly into a Striker Titan. Oh. So we have to wait until, yeah. Yeah, my partner just recently had a C-section, so she's a bit out of action in regards to having a child for the next 18 months. She says is her limit.
Completely understand that.
Yeah, I'm lucky in that at the moment I've been, because I currently work for the Australian government in the taxation department, and I've been lucky in that the hours I've been able to work there have been a little bit less than normal. Only working about maybe 5 hours roughly a day, due to both COVID measures and also just being, having a new baby and whatnot. I've been able to work slightly less so I can spend a bit more time at home and help out with the kids and everything.
That's worked out well then, isn't it, I guess?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I did have a bit of a hiccup when when Elsie was first born, because I was put on, the 8 till 1 shifts. That meant I was getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning to get ready for work. Combine that with a very brandly, because that's a word, a very newborn baby who was getting up every 5 minutes for a feed, and with my partner having a C-section, she was not physically able to get up to the new baby. So I was getting up to the new baby, and then going to work for about a week on 2 hours of very broken sleep.
Good times.
Yeah. I don't know how I got through that week, because I'm good. If I'm sick, I'm fine. I don't have a problem. I cannot handle throwing up. Throwing up is something I do not handle very well. But every other kind of sickness or injury, like, I could probably cut my arm off and I'd be fine. But if I'm dead tired, I'm out. I'm checked out.
I understand. When I'm tired, I'm terrible.
So I'm surprised I got through that week.
Actually,
Yeah. You were saying?
I got a 3.0 KD in that one.
Oh, nice. Nice. How much time have you got left, by the way?
I don't know. It's up to you, I guess. Wrap it up soon, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. Change it up a bit. Might just go play maybe a strike or two just to wind down and finish off the content for the day, if you'd like.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Alrighty.
It's been really good fun.
Well, I'm glad you've enjoyed it. It's been amazing to have you on the stream, and I really do hope that you have enjoyed yourself, and that everyone else watching currently or watching later on YouTube has enjoyed themselves. I apologize again for the audio issues, both at the beginning and throughout. It is still something I'm still trying to learn how to do and fine tune. Unfortunately, I don't know if I can test this kind of stuff beforehand, so it's kind of just I start it up and we see how it goes. But yeah, and again, thank you so much for coming on. It's been awesome.
Oh, thanks for having me. As I said before, thank you.
I'll definitely have to do this again sometime soon, even if it's just playing off stream, because it's just enjoyable hanging out with you, man.
Yeah, you too.
Oh, actually, interesting question, right? Who is who is your favorite I guess evil character, like bad character in Destiny?
I think Oryx left a pretty good impression, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's something about Oryx. I thought he was just damn cool. You know, his reveal, his look. The fact that he was coming back, he was fed up with the death of his son, bit of vengeance in his mind. He got some cool music to go with him.
Oh yeah. Love
Get the wing.
Taking King's Drums. Yeah.
Gotta get evil wings.
Pretty sure he didn't actually get his wings until he killed Arca. I think from memory. Yeah. Bit of a lore tidbit there for you. Which also means that I mean, there's nothing to say that she doesn't have wings, but I'm pretty sure Shiva Barath and Sathona both don't technically have wings, because Shiva Barath took on the Night Morph when she became Shiva Barath. So with her aspect being of war and her becoming more powerful through war, she would just be effectively a very, very huge, overpowered knight to a certain extent. So interesting to see how they treat her and whether or not she actually shows up in the Witch Queen expansion.
She's not somebody kind of who likes to show herself, does she? Being subterfuge and stealth and all that, and deception.
Oh, that's Sabathun.
Oh, sorry, sorry, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
I thought it was Sabathun for a second.
Yeah, it's very easy to mix up the names. I do it all the time. I do it all the time. Oh man, I'm looking forward to the Witch Queen. I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be a fun expansion to play, but I'm not sure if Shiva Warath is gonna show up, but she's the one you would she's the one you would expect would be the, I guess, easiest to deal with to a certain extent, because she's not the overwhelming, powerful Oryx, you know, the king. She's not the very deceptive and cunning Savathun. She's the embodiment of war, brutality, and just brute force. So it'll be interesting to see how Bungie introduces her into the game, what she looks like, what she does. I mean, hell, she could even be the focus of Lightfall to a certain extent. I don't know, but I'll just see what happens.
With any of these bad guys, it's always nice if they kind of have them hang around for a while, you know, immediately be wiped out as essentially as a strike boss, you know, having them...
Yeah, we're not going to talk about Zul.
Yeah, exactly. You want, you know, good bad guys carry on. You know, Vader was in a good few movies.
Oh, don't mention Vader. Oh, my girlfriend's not going to stop talking about him now. Like, I love Star Wars as much as the next nerd.
Yeah, me too, yeah.
But my lovely girlfriend, she watched the prequel trilogy for the first time a couple of months ago, and fell in love with Hayden Christensen.
No, I like that. Not just Hayden Christensen.
She's just walked in. Did you hear that from outside the room? I'm not sure if you heard that from outside the room, but
I did hear that, yeah, I did,
yeah.
sorry, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's Steph for you. She's gonna defend the fact that she only really likes the prequel trilogy because of Hayden Christensen, especially in the third one, because he gets all dark and gothic and brooding.
Yeah, he's
I like Anakin because he's a moody bitch and I relate to him.
yeah.
Because she's wearing a Darth Vader shirt.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so I like it when they take the time with bad guys, not just wiping them out instantly. Let's get some story building.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of why I like what they've done with Aldrin. I mean, everything they have done with Aldrin has been amazing. Like, the choice to revive him as a Guardian, no one saw that coming. No one had any idea that's what they were going to do with him. So I was really happy to see that happen. What would you like? What kind of story beat would you like to see them pursue? In your opinion, would it be something to do with Aldrin? Maybe some more background on the Scorn. It could be maybe the story of Keitel, Callus's daughter and current leader of the Cabal people. More on the Hive, maybe, and Sathona and Sheeple Wrath. What would you like? What would you like them to pursue next?
I think there's a few things that are kind of incomplete. I'd like them to kind of to tie up what happened with kind of the Dreaming City and Mara. Marasov would be nice. Aldrin, obviously, yeah. I'd like to see that continued. I'd say that's really interesting. Like a a very much anti-hero. Somebody who, as you say, almost can have their redemption for the crimes they've done, even if it wasn't at their own knowledge that they were kind of being manipulated. I want to see what's happened to Varix. I liked Varix.
Yeah.
I'd like them to kind of go. Honestly, I mean, I find the Fallen fascinated. So I think I'd like to delve more into the help that we're getting. I can't remember the Fallen's name. The guy, the one
Mithrax.
Mithrax. Yeah,
Mm.
I love all that stuff, and I think having allies within the universe is always interesting. Maybe digging a bit deeper into Callus, and obviously that's been we know that's not Callus there. We know that's just his robots. So I think it'd be tying up some of the loose ends would be fun. Not tying them up, but just essentially getting back on their trail again.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Digging into something new. That's why I'm so glad they brought the Stranger back. It was obviously something that was, again, it was a loose end. So it's great they're getting back to that.
Oh, I mean, yeah. Honestly, I cannot wait to see what they're going to do in this next season. Oh, excuse me. Anna's saying in chat, I want to know where Shiro is. Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
because
exactly,
where the hell did he go?
Yeah.
I mean,
And what was his name? The other one that could throw Saladin.
Lady Aphrodite.
Yeah, what's happened to Aphrodite? Where is
Actually,
she?
I can actually tell you where she is. She
Oh, great.
has effectively, the last we saw of her was like Red War, but she hung up her gun. She lives a pacifist life at the moment. She doesn't usually... The only time she has brought her gun back out was she did fight in the Red War. We didn't see her, but she did come back to help fight with the Red War, and now she lives out... I believe it's in a small community with a small community of other pacifist guardians and just people in general out in the asteroid belt somewhere. But yeah, she's living a pacifist life.
I think also you need is a little bit of info on each of these characters just to know where they're at. Just a holding pattern until they come back in earnest is always great.
Yeah. I mean, Shiro's one of those characters that people have forgotten quite a lot about. Like, you never see anyone mention him as a character, even though he is one of the potential candidates for the next Hunter Vanguard, because I mean for various obvious reasons, him being a hunter himself and being very competent, being well known, showing great tenacity, showing a kinship of personality with Cade, he would be a good Hunter Vanguard. Obviously, the only person who actually qualifies for it at the moment, using the Hunter's Vanguard dare, is Aldrin Sov, because he most likely resurrected as a hunter, as far as we're able to ascertain. But yeah, no, Shiro absolutely should be around somewhere. And Bungie, if you ever have to watch this, give me lore on Shiro, please. Even just he's just exploring the Earth at the moment. I'll accept that. I'll accept that.
Train.
Oh
Yeah, a lot of sister are quite into a lot of the fringe characters. They tend to have quite a good following in the artist community. I know a lot of the people in my Discord are really into like Barracks and Aldrin and Shiro. The forever drawing artwork of those characters.
Oh, ran straight into one. It just reminds me of I'm not sure if you remember the old ASDF movies. Oh, not movies, but like short little clips on YouTube.
No.
So it has that just really basic like stick figure almost animation, and one of them's of a boy who just constantly says, "I like trains," and then trains just run by and run stuff over.
No, I don't think I've seen that.
It's very, very, very early internet humor. So not a lot of people remember them, but I have a weird memory for those kinds of things. Yeah, Hayden Christensen has apparently been cast in the Ewan Obi-Wan Kenobi series. Yeah, I did hear about that.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure, like, if it's going to be in, like, flashbacks or something, but, I mean, I'm pretty sure this series does span the gap between Revenge of the Sith and, oh, is it after Revenge of the Sith?
Maybe Star Wars, I guess, wouldn't it? New Hope.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it does take place after Revenge of the Sith, but I can't remember. So it'll be interesting to see if they have him play Anakin, or if he is going to be a suited Darth Vader. But I'll see when it comes to it. Ooh. I want a redemption. Anna's saying I want a redemption arc for Aldrin, and she likes it as a character, but I much prefer Shiro as Vanguard. Yeah, that's fair. Shiro would make more sense, but I personally think, with how I've seen Bungie work over the last couple of years, some of the choices they've made, and with the way they seem to be channeling the story at the moment, I think Aldrin will eventually be the next Hunter Vanguard. Even though he's very inexperienced, even though he is universally hated, I think he's going to be the next Hunter Vanguard. Purely because that would be the most interesting story to follow.
Yeah, it would. Ouch.
That, and he is the only person that satisfies the Vanguard dare. So, I mean, there's nothing to say that there's nothing to say at all that you need to be a guardian to be the Vanguard. It's kind of assumed, but there's no law that states that you must be a guardian to be the Vanguard. So it's entirely possible we might have someone like Hawthorne turn around and do that. But I mean, that wouldn't make sense for Hawthorne's character if she did.
No, I hope not.
Yeah, that would be very weird to see, just her go. Yep. So hunters, you know, do your thing with the other thing and that one thing over there. Yep. Okay. Cool. Although she does kind of have a bit of the soul of a hunter in that aspect of, you know, not wanting to be tied down to the city and being free and whatnot. If ever anyone gets the chance, look up the lore tab to Tommy's Matchbook. It gives you a really good idea of what's currently going on story-wise for the hunters.
Oh, right. That sounds good.
All the hunters in the city are pretty much straight up gone. They are not sticking around. They are still acting as guardians, but they do not want to be anywhere near the Vanguard right now, because everyone's afraid they're going to get they like their freedom, and they're all afraid they're going to get roped in to do the Vanguard's job.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Yeah, Anna's made a very good point here that Aldrin has a tactical mind for it, considering he was the leader of the Awoken Spy Network, the Crows, and Shiro has the experience and knowledge of hunter ways, so it's a difficult choice. Yeah, that's fair.
It's also Anna potentially, but maybe she's too distracted. Anna Bray.
I would say she is certainly a potential for it, but I would say I don't think Zavala is gonna let that happen. I think he's, like, as much as they are kind of now starting to get along a lot more, I just don't see him allowing that. I don't think Anna's. I think that's the way they're gonna go with her story. She's very focused on Rasputin, finding out more of her past, and
Her own focus, isn't she? Same with Petra. Petra's too focused on her problems at Dreaming City and her people.
Oh, well, see, that's the thing though too. I don't think Zavala would like having, as weird as this sounds, I don't think Zavala would like having an Awoken be the Hunter's Vanguard. Even though he is Awoken himself, he does not think of himself as Awoken. He thinks of himself first and foremost as a Guardian. So it's a very interesting dynamic there. He's always been very wary, not necessarily mistrusting, but wary of the Awoken of the Reef. So I can definitely see something like maybe a joint Vanguard between Shiro and Aldrin. I can definitely see that being a thing. It actually would be interesting to see if they follow that story beat. But yeah, I guess we'll see what happens with that.
We saw Zavala's awakening in that cutscene. Do we know what brought him to Earth in the first place?
No idea. See, that was a very special trailer they put together for the beginning of Destiny 2, which was fantastic. It was awesome to see, and I wish we got something like that for Ikora as well. I feel like we're gonna get more of that for Cade, purely because, well, this has to do with the Deep Stone Crypt, and one of the last thing Cade says to us in his in the quest line for the Ace of Spades is to do with the people of the Deep Stone Crypt and how they haven't heard the last of him. So interesting to see what they do with that, but yeah. Such a quick boss to get down.
Yeah.
Love it. Well, I don't want to keep you too long, but does anyone in chat have any additional questions, concerns, considerations, anything at all for the amazing artists we have with us right now? Do let me know. Yeah, Ian, is there anything you wanted to go over? Or you'd want to quickly let everyone know where they can find you on all your socials and whatnot?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think you can pretty much find me, Ian Pesty, at pretty much everything, I think, on Twitter or on Instagram, in-game. If you ever need anyone to run some strikes or something to help you horribly as a hunter and get squashed, I'm online as Ian Pesty. Yeah, and if anybody's got any questions, just fire them over to me over Twitter as well. I'll do my best to answer them.
Awesome, man. Awesome. And
I think it goes without saying again, thank you so much for having you on the stream. It's been a complete honour, a complete pleasure to do this. Thank you so much.
Take the words right out of my mouth, you know. It's been amazing to have you on. I've loved playing with you. It's been great talking to you. And I really do hope we're able to get you back on the stream again sometime soon. Hopefully for that artists raid along type deal I'm going to try and organise, because that would be pretty awesome. But
that'd be fantastic. Yeah, I'd love to do that. Just give me a shout whenever you're up for that.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. Hopefully we'll see what happens. But all things going well, we'll be able to go through and do that in the next couple of weeks. I would assume definitely before. Well, I'm going to aim to do it before Beyond Light, but I don't know. My life is weird and crazy enough as it is. I don't know what's going to happen.
Sure.
Anna in chat, Zavala's story is being upgraded lately as well. Lots of people hated him since Cade's death. He's being pretty much at the top of the story since Rasputin. I love it. Also a bit of fear if they will kill him. Honestly, that's interesting to consider. I do understand the hatred for Zavala. I think a lot of people do misunderstand him, because a lot of people are unfortunately don't get to see or read a lot of the lore and stories surrounding him that I have, like the lore tab of the Oxygen SR3 Scout Rifle. I highly recommend everyone go and read that, because it actually it shows us a more human side to Zavala, and actually a kind of romance between him and Ikora, which is quite lovely to see. But the whole point of Zavala saying in Forsaken that they cannot and should not do anything, as much as I loved the idea of us as Guardians just going, nah, screw this, we're gonna kill Aldrin, Zavala is the parent in that situation. He's telling us, no, this is not a great idea, because they are essentially another country, another political entity. We can't just go invading their space and killing one of their people. A royal, a prince, you know, we can't do that without just cause, you know, and yada, yada, yada. So, not to mention, he's like, look, with everything going on, we need to just buckle down and defend the city, and the Vanguard especially can't be the ones that go ahead and do that. Even though you could see it on his face in those moments, he is wrecked. He's broken, and you can see it as well when we did the Exodus missions. He's a sad person right now, because everything is falling apart around him, and all he can do is to try and keep everything he holds dear together, not only for himself personally, but the rest of the Guardian orders and the rest of humanity effectively look to him more so than anybody else. Because the Speaker isn't around anymore. The only figurehead we've got is Zavala as Vanguard Commander. And he has to almost, not obviously battle the darkness alone, but that's the position he's in. So he's just doing the best job he can with the shitty hand that he's been dealt, to a certain extent. So, no, I respect him massively as a character for having to make these kinds of tough choices. God knows I definitely couldn't do as good a job being in the position. So, yeah, don't envy him in that regard. Oh, and I love Zavala's character. He's the no parent. Yeah. That's him to a T.
Definitely.
Alright, well, thank you everybody for stopping by. I had a great load of fun. The video will be... Yeah, the parent we appreciate when we become parents. Yeah, absolutely. Can confirm. But yeah, so the video of this will be up on YouTube within the next day or two, if I get enough time. We'll see what happens. And yeah, look out tomorrow morning. It's going to be a lot of fun. Going to be interviewing Furion, another great artist of the community, and by all reports an awesome dude, so that'll be awesome. And look out for the next couple of weeks. I'm going to get some more artists on the stream. Going to organise that raid along with the other artists, more Ghost of Tsushima, and more female artists of colour, and trans artists as well. Want to do a massive highlight for them because they are awesome people, and we should be sharing the love to all of them as well. But guys, stay safe out there, stay chill, and I will catch you all later. Bye.
Bye.